You're listening to And the Rest, Valentine's Day edition.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew, gross.
Oh my God. You know, I'm Brian. With me, as always, co-host Pablo.
Nice to be here.
And
I feel the love in the air.
yeah, we got unnamed producer. What's up?
Hey, what's up?
And we have a guest today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Eric.
Eric.
I'll
All
just
right.
go by that.
All right, man.
Hello.
Fake name, nice.
Yeah, it's my fake name.
This is artist name.
Nice.
Artist name.
Nice. All right, what's up, dude? Welcome to End the Rest, where we just talk about nothing.
And the rest.
And the rest, yeah. And the rest.
Talk about nothing. That won't take long.
Yeah.
Usually takes about an hour.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
All right, now
We
we're
do-
on the clock and we sit here.
Yeah.
Eat up time.
Nah, man.
Did I really bring beers?
Yeah, I did, man. Go ahead, help yourself.
Oh, cool, thanks, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm good.
No, I don't like beer.
Yeah, I'll have one. Yeah. All right. So Valentine's Day. How do you guys feel about it? I can tell, Eric, that you already just hate
one
it.
of many bullshit holidays.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know me, you know I hate holidays except for Halloween. Because at least Halloween you get candy and there's like cool costumes and everything.
Yeah.
Everything else, it's all bullshit.
But
It's,
you get gifts on Christmas.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you're Jewish, you get 8 fairly mediocre gifts.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I figure you can buy gifts anytime.
That's that's true.
But it's not the same.
Is that
Well,
the same?
I mean,
Oh yeah, because you got a Lego set when you were a kid. That's why.
Exactly.
and you just want to relive that nostalgia.
Yeah, dude. No, I used to get those plastic luchadors with the plastic capes.
Oh, the Dollar
Those
Tree
were the-
ones.
oh,
Oof,
yeah,
man, yeah, those are
bizarre luchadors.
the best. Yeah, those are third world country
I like
luchadors.
them. You know, I think our family figured out a system where now we can get excited over it because we're like, oh, we know we're gonna get a really good one.
Yeah.
You know,
Like
So-
when you unwrapped your Nintendo Entertainment System
Yeah.
early.
Yeah, exactly.
I did that when I got my Super NES. I found it, unwrapped it, played it while my parents were gone, and just wrapped it back up and had to pretend to be surprised.
See, I knew exactly what I was gonna get. I never got a surprise. I picked my gifts.
See, like, unfortunately, when I tried to look for my presents when I was 10, I accidentally found my dad's porn collection.
Oh,
And that's how it happened. dude.
Ah,
gift
so
that
we
keeps
had a
on
really,
giving.
yeah,
Yeah.
really nice Christmas.
Yeah, that was a really interesting Christmas.
Like this Christmas, Brian has not come out of his room. What's going on?
Yeah,
there?
I guess.
That's what you call White Christmas right there.
Yeah, oh, hey.
Heyo.
Woo.
And now we know Brian thinks every white liquid is ranch. So.
Hey, come on, dude.
Hey,
Let's start this up
hey,
again.
sorry.
Please, let's
Yeah,
start
yeah,
this
let's
again.
get it right. Let's get it right.
I'm just saying, there's all
Man,
kinds of
that
mayo.
Girl
Did
has
you-
a bunch of mayo in her face.
Did you have a lot? Did your dad have a lot of porn?
Yeah, like 5 DVDs.
Dude,
So he finally moved
Really?
because I found all his
Anything
porn.
good? Any like Jimmy Jameson or
Yeah.
anything like that?
No, they were all like,
What?
catch any classics?
were-
Did you watch any of it?
they were like
Did.
vintage.
You know he did.
Yeah.
Of course I did.
Well, I'm going back in time. I'm going back in time. Jimmy Jameson was like the shit back then, but now not so much.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what he had was more like obscure ones.
I
I don't
It's not
remember.
gonna have any like Alexis Texas or anything.
No, nothing like that.
Wow.
Nothing that you find like on Brazzers
A
nowadays. Like,
true
this is,
connoisseur.
yeah.
You remember what it was?
Everyone knows about.
Oh,
Alexis
there was
Texas.
one that was called like Naughty Little Nympho 7 or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, 7, huh?
Yeah, 7. So I'm pretty sure you went through
Six
it.
is not that
Six,
good.
six and
yeah.
four.
Everyone makes
Yeah.
the same jokes that these are supposed to be sequels and everything.
Right, yeah, I know. Like, okay, we get
I
it.
didn't
You
do
know?
the first 5, so I have no idea what's going on in this.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
it
your
was
dad had a
interesting.
lot of porn tapes back home in Peru.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
because he gave me some when he moved back here. 'cause he
That's
was first.
hilarious. Well, I didn't know
And
that.
yeah, so I inherited some of his porn.
Interesting.
Um,
Did you get
was
6? Naughty Little Nympho 6?
No,
Oh.
none of them were labeled, you know, and it was VHS, so like there was
Ooh.
no menu.
Oh, no, these were DVDs, so I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
he
he
bought those
moved
here.
on.
Yeah, he moved on, yeah.
He bought those here.
I'm pretty sure he has like Blu-ray ones now, but
Yeah.
it's
We
all
don't
good.
have to.
It is
Yeah,
gonna,
the
you know,
cloud
based
he's
system.
I
progressive.
mean, he's still
Yeah.
fairly behind because now you don't have to.
Oh yeah, I guess you don't. Yeah,
Oh yeah, those days are long gone.
they are. Yeah.
But you know, there's people that actually like to sign up for shit.
Hmm?
You know,
Yeah,
which
like
is
accounts?
pretty incredible. Yeah.
The people that have porn DVDs, they look like cavemen to us now.
yeah. That's my dad.
I went to a sex shop with an ex a while ago, and they had a section of DVDs, and you'd see like people like.
On sale or?
I mean, no.
Mhm.
No. I have a funny story.
So it's not
about
like Blockbuster, like buy two get one previously
this.
owned.
No, but I have a funny story. So one time, my ex, like my girlfriend at the time, we bought a porno together at one of these shops, and then later, like, cause we're young, so we're like kind of broken. We're like, you know, why do like, what's a good way to get like a quick $20? And it was like, oh, return that. We should return this because it had been like a week, you know. So I went there, and I was like, hey, I need to return this, and no, but he was like, all sales are fine. I'm sorry. But the worst part was that the person that was there was like someone that I knew from high school, and I was like, oh god, it was really embarrassing.
That does seem awkward. Yeah.
Luckily, my girlfriend was there, so it wasn't like I was being like a little perv.
Oh,
But
okay.
it was still
Also, no hookup, dude. He knows you and he doesn't let you return.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
That is
yeah,
pretty
you
fucked
know
up,
what?
yeah.
I didn't think about that. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, but I mean, Valentine's Day isn't about that, right? I mean,
All about that.
it's all about that. You think it's about that?
Valentine's Day, not about porn.
Dude,
I mean, it could be whatever you want to do.
yeah.
Whatever, yeah, dude.
Any holiday could be about porn, dude, if you really want.
If
You know what? You're right.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Porn is a year-round celebration.
Right. Yeah.
If you go on Pornhub, I guarantee you the first like suggestion would be Valentine's Day.
Right now.
It's like when you go on, because I went to Pornhub on Christmas, and then first suggestion is Christmas or Santa and shit. Like
Usually Pornhub has like a special thing for Valentine's Day. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Open up everything, no?
or something like that, or they give you like premium or whatever they have for free,
Oh,
or something
wow.
or something like that.
Wow.
Usually
As a
they have
present,
that.
that's a good present. Valentine's Day present.
Yeah, I swear they have those type of promotions.
Damn.
I feel like if you've been with someone for like a long time, you're gonna have to like spice it up and watch something inspired, you know? Because like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean,
What else is left?
some people have fetishes, I guess.
Well,
I mean,
there are like videos that like show you how to do like give you ideas to show you how to do something. But you don't like watch.
Tutorials?
well, actually, there are. I mean, there's this one called Kink University. Yeah, and they show you like different things like how to tie up.
Do you get a
or how to
degree at the
spank,
end?
or whatever.
That'd be kind of cool if they
Get a
quiz you at
certificate?
the end.
Yeah.
Or they get a quiz.
Yeah,
and
I mean, everybody like knows about like kink.com. I mean, and I've actually met the guy that runs that.
Oh wow.
Okay.
That's
I mean,
cool.
because
Yeah.
no, because the club the club I go to, they have the fetish events.
Oh okay.
They have the fetish events, and they have like bondage events like all the time.
Oh,
so
cool.
so that guy definitely shows up.
What
Yeah.
club
You
is
know,
this?
he showed up.
Yeah, he showed up like he showed up like once. I'm trying to remember which one it was.
Is it the fetish ball?
It might have been. They have so many of those. They have so many of those events.
Now they
here.
do. Now they have like different
There's like four- there's like-
variations of them.
Yeah, there's like 4 of them because they're successful. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people show up and everything.
It's because a lot of people are curious too. Aside from like the scene, there's a lot of people are curious about it.
So what club is this?
The Lizard Lounge.
The Lizard Lounge. Oh, interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's I think there's even one coming up in like March.
Oh wow. Oh, so
Yeah.
they do this every year, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's every quarter, I think.
The specific one coming up, I think it's the first year that they've done it. But
Wow.
they do. I mean, they do like anytime there's some kind of like expo or convention, then they have an event there like for people to go afterwards.
So I'm totally oblivious. Like, what's the Lizard Lounge?
Lizard Lounge is the is one of the big clubs down here next to Deep Ellum. Yeah, they're usually known for their EDM events. But now there's but they also have the other side, which is more like like the goth industrial nights. And everything. And on those the same nights they'll have the fetish events for the fetish community.
Do they do like exhibitionist stuff?
Define exhibitionist stuff.
Like public stuff. I don't know.
I mean, they have people getting like whipped.
The humiliation,
whipped to stage and
like
everything
that's.
that. Oh yeah, they do that on stage.
Wow,
Everything.
interesting.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, mainly I'm there just to hang out with people.
I get you.
Like I don't look at the stage events too much because I don't know.
Couple hours or whatever.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
like a lot of it is basically is a lot of it is just like kind of burlesque routines or whatever. So I get
Yeah.
tired of those really quickly and everything.
Yeah, the burlesque scene is like really strong here in Dallas. Like I'm
Yeah.
kind of surprised they have a
Yeah,
bunch
there's a
of.
lot of people.
I'm not a big fan of it.
You're not a big fan of
Yeah,
burlesque?
of course, I'm not a big fan of it either. Not like,
We have strippers.
Okay, so
we've moved on.
you don't want to be a
that.
little classy? You
Again,
know?
There's nothing classy about less.
it's like I get tired of those too. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, I'm all about like just like good shows and everything, good interesting shows.
I got you.
Basically. But yeah, everyone knows about like kink.com.
Right.
Yeah.
And everything. And like people like couples can like watch that and like see how they tie people up or see all the different things they can do with their partners or whatever, everything. But they're not going to watch the whole thing. It's more like they're going to scan through. It's like, oh, cool. It's like, or the guy will watch it and
Give the pitch to his
no, they'll say, oh, that's how you can do that. That's how you can do that and everything. That's how, and then surprise her later. It's like, oh, you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
Well,
that's the relearn.
Strange guy I've never met before.
There's that one guy. His name is Kenneth Play. He teaches you things on Pornhub, and he has like a whole school, like real life school, and then he hosts like orgies in New York too. Like if you want to go to his sex parties, you can, but you gotta like be part of his group and stuff like that. It's really interesting.
Do you think they have like Valentine's Day?
There's no way they're not doing it.
Yeah.
You think so? Oh.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
these
yeah.
are all like swingers and like these are all people that just want to stay single and fuck everything.
Hmm.
I hear a lot of things about like swinger parties. Like they're not like they're cracked up to be.
Oh no, these ones there's videos of these ones like not like proper videos. There's like actual videos of like them hanging out.
So there's a buffet and stuff, and
There's no buffet.
oh
Brian.
wow.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to it.
It's like if there's a buffet at sex parties, like you do not eat the food there.
There's a buffet and like 40-year-old dudes, and that's it.
In fact, no real sex party has a buffet.
Wow, man.
If you have a buffet at a sex party, then there's something wrong with this sex party.
Not that there's
I mean,
anything
there's a
wrong,
fetish for
but
that,
that's
isn't
a
there?
Good yeah. The
Isn't there a
feeders,
fetish?
The feeders.
The feeders, yeah.
Yeah.
Like they get kind of nasty with the
Yeah.
fried chicken.
Well, then they have things that are especially for like feeders.
Oh, for
and
that?
everything.
Yeah.
I mean, like for example, like if you were like a feeder, you're gonna want to serve like food like oatmeal or something like that.
Yeah, to just
Because-
put all over
because
your
it-
body.
no. Well, because like feeders. The thing with oatmeal is that it's very filling and it's hardly any calories.
Mm.
Now, I'm talking about the big girls. Though.
Oh, the big.
Oh, BBW.
The big feeders, because there's guys that like to get the girls like super fat.
Mhm.
Like I've seen some
Oh, yeah.
some like shows.
And girls that like to get guys super
And
fast.
then they're yeah,
Oh, yeah.
well vice versa. So like
Isn't
they're
that what
doing-
Jenny is into?
Hey, come on.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
don't start. Don't start.
Well, they still use like certain foods like weight gain shakes and stuff like that.
Damn.
Are really
Yeah,
popular.
they're trying to get theirs as big as possible.
and stuff you can use with like funnels and stuff like that, like funnel feeding.
God.
Nice.
I think that's what I saw. I think it might have been on one of those like trashy channels like TLC or something.
Mm.
Or, like they do like
TLC.
they were doing ice cream then.
I like how
The
TLC.
learning channel.
It's now the large channel.
Yeah.
The large-
Oh yeah, they have like Fat Sisters or some shit like that. Like all the shows are about fatties.
Yeah,
Hey,
like my
Hey.
600-pound life.
Yeah.
there's a chance you can make it in the industry.
You
right?
really should, man.
Give it a
I've been
shot.
thinking
You know,
about
I feel like fat shaming is good to an extent, but
it.
you
To
know,
an extent.
yeah, make them lose weight. You know, pump them up a
What's
little.
your journey looking like right now? Because you last two episodes you've been all about it's the
Hey.
turning page. And
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm still fighting my battle. You know, I'm still
your butt.
Your butt.
my battle. Hey,
can't find it.
yeah, hey, well, you know,
Your butt puts up a pretty good fight.
yeah. I'm just
Just
hanging
look
in
at
there.
that picture from France and just visualize it.
Yeah, it was a.
You should
Few
like
pounds.
print it out and put it like in front of your.
As like
bed.
inspiration?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Wake up every
that'd be
morning.
nice. Yeah,
That's like the healthiest you've ever been.
How much were you weighing at that point?
like 230.
230.
Yeah,
But he's a big bone.
Yeah.
I am big boned. Yes, that is a thing. Just saying.
Thick ass
FYI.
bones you have. Right away.
Hey, careful. But yeah,
I'm just saying.
I wish they had like those instead of like weight gaining protein stuff, they have like weight control stuff at those parties. You know? That'd be nice.
Weight control shake.
Yeah, like I don't know.
I'm sure if that was a thing.
That's what Ensure is, pretty much.
I think that's what
Is it?
water is.
That's what Ensure is, right? Because
That's what like older people are.
that's what old people, so they can have enough protein, you know, and for people with cancer and sick people.
Yeah, like if they just have like hydroxycut cups, like that'd be pretty
Dude,
cool.
hydroxycut fucks you up. I told
With
you.
5-hour energy like drinks
Yeah,
too.
that's
That'd be
how you
pretty.
get a heart attack.
And shots of
Yeah,
Red Bull.
yeah. Ooh, yeah, that
I
sounds
told
like
you
a
my
party.
story about hydroxycut story. I almost died.
Yeah.
Felt like it.
I used a lot.
I fucking panicked.
I remember those commercials. They were pretty awful, man.
It seems like the biggest problem with the biggest obstacle when it comes to losing weight. The problem is that your stomach is used to eating more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
And
thing.
you have to find a way. You have to, and the only way to get your stomach to shrink is to constantly get used to eating less.
Yeah,
That's
Which
the
is-
hardest part. Yeah.
that is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
in the beginning, just getting
Like
used to it.
I've been eating like less these days, and I find myself like having a hard time eating like what I usually do is I save my appetite, and then because I think, oh, I'm gonna get a pizza later, and that way I'll be able to eat all this pizza
Yeah.
later and everything, but then I only wind up being able to eat like 2 slices and I feel full.
Oh
Yeah.
shoot.
Because because all this time my stomach's getting used to like eating it like eating less.
Less.
While
And it's also physically getting smaller,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
while before I used to be able to eat a whole pizza by myself.
Oh right.
That's what's happening to me right now. Like I've gained weight, and my stomach is asking for so much food because I started eating a lot. But that's what happened also with Brian, because when Brian went to live in France for a month, he lost all this weight because all the portions were tiny.
Yeah. That was just nice.
Yeah, and also I feel like a lot of it has to do with like empty calories. Like you have a burger, fries, and then you put that soda on top of it, and that's just calories that go straight to just fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was sugar.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I like how we went from porn to diet.
Yeah, well,
very,
yeah.
very like seamlessly.
It's feeders.
It's feeders.
It is feeders, dude.
It's a
Yeah.
big thing.
It is a big thing.
Well, like I said, it's no agenda, no plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it just goes all over the place. The car just goes off the road.
It does, dude. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're new, but yeah.
Like for example, like you mentioned, like this club that was like goth, right? Have y'all heard of this festival in LA called Cruel World
Is that the one with Morrissey?
with Morrissey, Bajas,
Yeah.
Devo,
There's
Blondie,
some controversy,
Echo.
isn't it?
Yeah, there is
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
controversy, and I don't know. I was busy watching whatever TV I need to get caught up on, and like avoiding all this drama.
Yeah.
So like one of the bands, one of the bands that people like around here, announced that they were joining the festival or whatever. And they said, "Oh, are we going to cancel them now and everything?" And I'm just like, "Okay, catch me up here and everything." And then somebody like shows up like a mock poster that somebody made for Cruel World, and it with all these like accusations and everything. And I'm just like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna go back to watching TV."
Apparently, they confirmed a few bands that are not confirmed.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
They
that's
have-
interesting.
It's this big festival with a lot of like goth bands.
It's in
and,
LA,
like,
and
it's in LA.
Yeah, it's in
It's
LA.
Yeah.
big too, but like they're
Really.
getting like a lot of
Like a
big
lot
names.
of yeah.
But so the first thing that happened was people did not want Morrissey. So people were very very unhappy with Morrissey.
It seems like an
Especially
excuse to like
headlining.
leave early, like after Bob,
Yeah.
because you don't know if he's gonna show up or not.
That's what everybody was saying. Like everyone was saying, like, well, I mean, he might not show up, and also we can just leave, because everyone
Right.
before him was really good. But then other stuff started coming out that there's bands that were like, are we like they didn't know? I guess.
Oh,
They weren't
wow.
confirmed.
I heard it's also because the person who's running it or who owns it or something like that. Like I said, I read this mock poster like accusing everything. I mean, I could pull it up.
Yeah,
Can I pull it
Yeah,
up for you? You can pull it up.
go for it. Yeah,
we have a Jenny.
yeah, Janie.
Janie's currently.
But Janie's currently
busy
busy.
right
Yeah,
now.
she's busy at the time.
Let's see here.
So that's the controversy that basically
Yeah,
the
there's
fire
a few
festival.
apparently.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
the
Yeah.
next fire festival.
If it were like a goth fire festival, that'd be good.
I asked him what the whole deal is, and he sent me that.
So the guys just keep looking sad. So I guess they're happy. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's some homophobic, transphobic stuff.
Oh really?
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
of
course.
From the guy that's organizing the thing. Here you go.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a pretty good post.
There's
Interesting.
there's a lot there's a lot of things.
I can see why Morrissey would headline now.
Yeah. There's a lot of this going around. I mean, especially with other bands like besides KMFDM, also what was the other band that got wrapped up in all this?
Come Christ.
Ministry.
Come Christ also got some.
That's old news.
Yeah.
I mean, that's old news, but there's Ministry because there's accusations that the was bassist or guitarist.
I didn't know about Ministry.
Bassist or guitarist slept with underage girls.
Ooh, man, that's
basically,
so
but all that was like.
Allegedly, folks.
Allegedly.
But I'm like, I stopped following Ministry like 15 years ago anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I remember the last time I saw Ministry. I was up
like last year with
Death Grips.
Death Grips.
Yeah.
last time I saw Ministry, I was up front and everything, and there were like groupies like lined up ready to go.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and they
dropped off by their parents.
and they weren't. I don't know. They might have been that young. I don't know, but I mean, but all I know is they did not look like the type of girls that were into Ministry. They were like they were normal, like blonde haired and everything.
Handpicked prior to
so I was like they are not here because they like the music.
Right.
Kind of like when artists are put in their contract what they need for they're like, I want all the M&Ms, I want all the M&Ms, but not the green ones.
Oh man, yeah.
At the last minute, only green ones.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that. Wow, yeah. That's crazy.
With and then with KMFDM, the lead singer Sasha made a homophobic slur about a fellow artist.
Ooh.
Yeah, known as Leather Strip.
Right. But I mean, does the lead singer have a history of that, like of being like that? Or?
Not really. In fact, he KMFDM even did some kind of fundraiser thing for the Orlando victims and stuff like that. They're normally known as being progressive, but this was something that was said like backstage.
It's some really weird shit. Like, remember the singer from Orgy said some like Islamophobe shit.
That's kind of old news.
I mean, I know.
Too,
I'm just saying, like, it's kind of it's like where you least expect it. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Where that shit comes from.
But like my old take on it is with the whole KMFDM thing. It was like this sounds like drama that's between like
them personally
to them because what happened was Leather Strip posted that he had overheard this guy say this. He said it out of anger because KMFDM was opening up for Leather Strip, and Sasha was not happy about that.
Wow.
And so he kind of said that in anger and everything. And a lot of people are outraged. Well, first of all, they go to like, I'm gonna throw away all my KMFDM records and everything. It's like, well, that's not gonna. So I'm just like, if you really want to express how you feel the most effectively. Just skip this tour and everything. Skip this tour. Express how you're not seeing that you're sitting this tour out. I certainly am not going to the next show. In fact, last time I saw Ministry, I didn't even care about Ministry. I just it was Ministry with Carpenter Brute.
Oh, was that before or after Death Grips? I feel like last time was with that.
I don't know, but I'll say this: like Carpenter Brute is one of the greatest retro wave acts to see live.
Oh, you told me about that.
Yeah, I told you about that. Like I saw their show. I'm like, I'm never missing a Carpenter Brute show, ever and everything. So I saw Carpenter Brute, and then and then they were opening up for Ministry, and I didn't really care about Ministry, so I just like hung out outside with a bunch of friends while it was going on inside and everything. And it was Ministry was so loud that when the door opened for somebody coming outside, it was like the door vomited noise.
Oh, Jesus.
It was.
They're known for being loud as shit.
Yeah, it is loud and everything. Well, people have complained about the sound on this venue and everything. And I've definitely been to their shows before. They definitely are allowed, but I was I guess sitting outside and like when it's fairly quiet, and then comparing it to inside when you it's like hot versus cold.
Yeah.
Okay,
Don't forget, guys, if you want to join the conversation, #cancel KFFDM.
Okay, well, this is the whole thing, right? Like,
why are you doing that?
yeah, like, how do you feel about like canceling people or canceling things? That's the thing.
This is what I was getting to.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have to cancel KMFDM, over the like smallest. Well, I wouldn't say this is the smallest littlest thing, but it's fairly small.
Seems like a personal spat between.
Yeah. It seems, but it's fairly small compared to what other infractions, you see coming out of other bands like Morrissey.
Oh yeah, more talk about cancer. Right?
What
Yeah,
does
see,
he do?
He always just like talks shit about
So
non-vegans.
the thing about Morrissey is not a new thing. Morrissey has always been a white nationalist for a long time, since his early like 20s, and so that's been known for a while, but people are kind of like forgiving it because people assume, oh, he's changed through the times. He's not really like that, But then in recent years, because of all this Islamophobia and all these just like growth of nationalism in the UK, he's actually come out and supported white nationalist groups to the point where he's wearing like their symbols or like on their jackets and things like that. So it's like it's kind of out there, and so yeah.
Well, see, and this is what I also want to say. Like, I feel like actions do speak louder than words in certain things, because there's people who talk like a bunch of shit about people, but it's really mostly like troll. Like, I feel
But he's doing it though.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference, right? Like even that would like saying something backstage in private, and then somebody was like, "I heard him say this."
Right.
It doesn't
Yeah.
have the same hit as
No.
Like, I don't feel like
As
he
doing
does
active
something.
public action.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
Morrissey's actually using his power and image to push these people up to the front.
And
Yeah.
and you have KMFDM who raised money for the Orlando victims.
Right.
Right,
And so
right.
like you see through their actions, like they don't actually mean this stuff. Like they don't mean anything homophobic or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just some small stuff, and I think like I guess social media does have a lot to do with it, because you get like all these voices that feel like they matter, and they're like, you know what, we gotta cancel this guy, join me, and it's a lot of bullshit. I think.
We all still listen to the Smiths though.
Yeah, I mean, okay, that's another thing.
from
Like, can you
yeah.
like separate the artist from
Well,
the?
what we do is we listen to the Smiths, but then we fully acknowledge and talk about how Morrissey's a piece of shit.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, we just constantly talk about. I mean, we use the Smiths as an opportunity to talk about how Morrissey is a big piece of shit.
Right. Yeah.
We just don't go to his.
Chris,
shows.
right? Because again, like I don't think Morrissey was the Smiths, right? There's also Johnny Marr, like the bassist and drummer. Like the Smiths is not just him.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like he should
But
be
yeah,
a kind of.
we all love
band.
Johnny Marr.
Right. Yeah.
But we hate Morrissey.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah, I don't think there's one person that's ever been like, fuck Johnny Marr.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a difference there too. But I mean, I don't know. Can you guys separate like a person from their work?
It's
When it comes to
hard
that-
sometimes.
if Ignition remix comes on, like, you're gonna have to bounce to that, bro.
Alright.
There's times when I watch like old Chris Benoit matches, and I'm like, oh man, he was so good. But then I have to remind myself that he killed his freaking wife and kid. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oof." It's hard. Sometimes it's just too hard.
I don't think it's not hard for me anyway. I mean, it's kind of like we had this discussion about Lovecraft, because of course he's a big time racist. And
I
everything.
canceled them.
Because he's a big time.
He was a racist for a time when everybody was racist, and they were all like, "Ooh, he's racist."
Really,
Yeah. Same with C.S. Lewis, by the way.
Huh?
Just saying. Same with C.S. Lewis, by the way. He was supposed to be a Christian, but I mean, there's a few racist things that were out there. Yeah. Just saying. But anyways, go on. Yeah.
But you kind of realize, it's like first of all, I acknowledge that there's so many other people that actually do Lovecraft better than Lovecraft.
That's what you were telling me last time, that there's some people that have taken what he did and just made it better.
Yeah, I mean, one of them being Stephen King, like The Mist. total
Yeah,
Lovecraft.
yeah.
That's way better than the stuff that Lovecraft did and everything.
Right.
Oh,
I was a big Lovecraft fan when I was a kid too, in high school.
Yeah.
'Cause everybody was like, "Ooh, Edgar Allan Poe and shit," but I was like, "Dude, Lovecraft has some like."
well,
really
he's like
interesting stuff.
he's
But-
got that OG status to him. When really once again, like there's so much stuff.
Right.
There's so much cosmic horror stuff that you know that has totally gone past what
It's
you know,
just
what
that he
Lovecraft
was
did.
like
he just invented this genre.
He was like the pro. Yeah. He,
Yeah.
he was
I
the
think
proto-
Pigment's model really like illustrates that perfect. That short story like was pretty
Yeah.
good in my opinion. But yeah, even though how he was, I guess. Do you still like his short stories? I mean, I still read them.
I mean, I haven't read Lovecraft since I was in high school.
Oh
you
really?
know? But I watched we just watched the movie recently, Eric and I. The
Wow.
movie
Yeah.
was based on one of the stories, and it was great. But
Oof.
yeah, but there, and there's more coming out. So there's.
Well, and also when it comes to like a movie, you have all these other people that worked on the movie. It's not so much about. I'm just like, look, Lovecraft's dead. Okay, he's not getting a single dollar.
Yeah.
His estate will get something, but
And I'm sure those people are not as. I hope they're not as racist.
I-
I mean, the wife wasn't. Poor wife. He always
Right, right.
berated for being
I'm
Jewish.
I'm sure. I'm gonna assume that they changed it.
I hope that feels so
She's
bad.
like, I gotta pick up the mantle.
I mean, it's also been dead for a long time, but that poor woman, Jesus Christ.
Reminds me, there was that movie Ender's Game, which was like
Yeah.
a
Based on
sci-fi
the
movie,
book?
based on the book,
Yeah.
and the author was he's
Orson
homophobe,
Scott- yeah.
right? Homophobe, and everyone was saying like don't see this movie and everything, and I'm sure like the director was going, hey, fuck you, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you got
Just basing
you
it
have
off.
all these people that that worked on this movie and everything. So
Right.
it's not all about the it's not all about the author.
It's
Yeah.
really hard to put all these people from like 100 years, even like 40 years ago, through these purity tests because the world was so different.
Well, yeah.
Even not even that long ago, like 20 years ago, you watch a Kevin Smith movie.
Yeah.
You watch Chasing Amy, and Chasing Amy is just not it's a great movie, but it hasn't aged well.
Right.
Some of the language that's used, and some of the just the culture
Yeah.
around the time. Like it's like meeting your friend from 2003. It's like, oh, that's gay. When they say that, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that.
I still say it because again, I don't really mean
I know
anything
you
bad
still say it
towards
'cause you're a
like
bad person.
gay people.
You're a
No,
bigot.
I just mean it, in the way that slang was meant for, which is just like, oh, you suck,
And at the time, that was like the fresh slang, and those were the funny lines, I guess, right?
I remember when I first moved here, I didn't know that was a thing. I'm not kidding, and I'm not saying this to be like some kind of woke person because I wasn't at the time. I was like, wow, that's a thing here. Like I was like legit shocked that was a thing.
I came from Mexico, so
Oh yeah, it's pretty.
running through the streets to this day.
Oh,
No, they
yeah.
made fun of gay people back home
Yeah.
all the time, of course.
But that's because it's predominantly Catholic country.
Yeah. So like,
So, I mean-
but then here, like, but it was never used as like, as a like to, just like, if there's something bad that happened and you use that term, it was never used like that. But like here, it was weird. It was like that was like the first thing I was like, oh, what's good.
Yeah.
So I never got to say, fuck you guys.
Hey, let it out, dude. We'll accept it.
Jesus.
Shows how you
We
really
won't
feel.
cancel you. I promise.
Yeah. Yeah. I find it hard to do that with people from a long time ago. To put them through all these purity tests. It's just that's like.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're not gonna go like, I might get a little controversial here, but like, you're not gonna go through like the Quran and like pick out those verses that say specifically like you must not be friends with like Christians and Jews because they're bad or whatever. Like, you're not just gonna cancel like all Muslims just because of this text or whatever. It's just different language from back then that just meant something. Not necessarily like violent, I guess, as people would interpret it now, even though I don't think it is.
I mean,
The
there's
Bible
verses-
deserves to be canceled.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, right. Like, yeah.
There's verses in the Bible that said you gotta beat the shit out of your wife or get
Oh, yeah.
just
Exactly.
a little bit
Yeah,
unruly.
the Bible is like way more violent than
Yeah.
Right. You're not gonna cancel Christianity though, right? Like,
even though
it's.
it should be.
I would like to.
I mean, I don't know. I don't like to cancel any religions because I mean it's not my say.
I said let it all roll, man. You know,
Let it all roll.
let it all roll. Let everybody say whatever they want. And
Okay, see, like this is actually a point that my cousin was saying the other, or unnamed producer, sorry. No, because he was like, he doesn't believe that every person deserves a voice in social media, for example, right?
Oh yeah, we're talking about that.
Yeah. But you think that everybody should.
I think so.
When you allow everything, you allow all the shit, like all the assholes along with the good.
Everything.
And you're saying you just want to keep the quote unquote good based on your own personal.
Not just the good, but like the intellectual, because I feel like there's people out there that they have some sort of influence. This is why I get mad at Joe Rogan. That we had this discussion, and I
Okay.
was to be shitting on Joe Rogan, but this is why I get mad at him, because he knows that he has a lot of impressionable kids and young adults that listen to him. He should be a little more responsible in who he has on his show, because even if he's like, oh, I want to give all these people a voice, like, there's one kid that's gonna get him, like, into the, dinosaurs are not a thing, so like, I think once you get to a point where like you have this forum and this ability to reach so many people, I don't know that you should be more responsible with what you say and who you have and what they say.
But doesn't that just ruin what you're doing, or like what you're trying to do with, like, let's say the show, right? I guess that's not a good
No,
thing.
well, I disagree with you there, because that's, I think, the equivalent of like sheltering somebody. Like, you
Yeah.
can't just shelter somebody from the world and just not teach them the bad stuff.
I don't think
gotta
that.
show 'em,
No,
but-
I don't think that, and I'm very much against that. I agree with you on the sheltering, because like I grew up watching some of the most violent shit, and sometimes like I meet kids here or guys my age that were kids here that were watching TV around the same time I was watching TV, and they're like, "Oh, I remember that was so scary." And I'm like, "Dude, I was watching dudes putting fists through people's chests."
Right,
You know,
yeah.
like they were like,
Pulling their heart outs.
I did not watch that. That was so scary. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on with you guys? So I agree with the sheltering. I'm talking more in like once something is proven, and then there's some asshole that's like, no, it's not a thing.
What do you mean?
Like basically denying science.
Like flat
Oh,
Earth. Yeah,
okay.
denying science.
I
Like
see.
I don't agree with that.
would go with the anti-vaccine vaccine
And
movement.
that, yeah.
I mean that's the word, especially right now. What we're going through. We may be facing
Pandemic.
we may be facing an epidemic.
Yeah.
And we have
The flu is killing a lot of motherfuckers out in the streets.
oh yeah. Yeah, it was mentioned.
And they have no answer for it for like at least another year.
Well, I'll say this. Science does change. Like, our knowledge does change as time goes on. Like, back when Aristotle was on, he thought, like, the world was at the center of the universe.
Can you imagine
no,
the
I have
castle
to-
Aristotle?
Imagine canceling Aristotle.
Yeah, and I agree, but we have a visualization of the Earth being round, and we have different things.
Right, but that's because science changed. So, like, but the
Right.
people believed
But now
Aristotle
there's
at this age.
but I'm talking about people that are like, no, Earth is flat. And
Right,
they have
right,
no
right.
way to prove it, and every time they try to prove it, and they actually.
But isn't
like,
that the safety net? Like, if some people come onto some popular show and spout out crazy shit, then you have the actual facts and science and.
But there's that one group that's gonna be like, you know what? If Joe Rogan had him on, he's cool.
But isn't that more the responsibility of the individual watching?
I would say yes, but you also have a responsibility with the power that you have
Yeah.
and the influence that you have.
Yeah. Also, context needs to be provided. It's like you can hear like you can listen to say what the anti-vax movement has to say, but you also have to provide. You want to provide context and commentary. It's like this is what they believe, and news programs do this all the time. Like for example, like the anti-vax movement will talk about how the dangerous part of the vaccine is the thermosol, which is the mercury, and you'll have somebody who says that, but then someone, a narrator will come on and say the mercury in a vaccine is only like 3 micrograms,
Right.
which is nothing compared to the amount found in, say, like a can of tuna or something like that. They provide context
Right.
and proven facts along with it.
Yeah. Like, I definitely, I believe people should get vaccines. Like, I'm not saying people shouldn't.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. But,
I'm
like,
glad.
yeah, all I'm saying is, like, there are certain things that science can only prove, like, with the limited knowledge that we have so far. Like who knows? Like if 10,000 years from now, there are certain things that we think are right now that are wrong.
I mean, I agree.
And at any time, like in I guess civilization, there's gonna be people that are right or wrong, and we're just not gonna know. But I don't think blocking somebody from saying something like that is the right way. They should say whatever they want. I just think people shouldn't listen to them and just like ignore it instead of like protest it.
But that's a reactionary way of dealing with it instead of precautionary way.
Right. But like you're being precautionary because you think you know, right?
But you're being precautionary to avoid those issues. It's like like when people talk about like gun issues and things like that. It's precautionary and reactionary.
Right.
It's like it already happened, so then you want to shoot someone instead of saying like maybe we should have different laws to prevent that happening in the first place. So there's like different thinkings. Like I don't know.
We have preventative measures versus reactionary measures.
Yeah.
Mm.
Reactionary, I don't think that it.
No.
To me, I don't think it works.
Okay, but now how would you?
The damage is Pandora's box is open, and it's already out there.
I agree,
you know?
but like, how would you consider like zombie survivalists who think like, for example, they're trying to be preventative, right? But it's so much time spent on this thing that I don't think it's necessary.
Where did that come from?
I mean, because you're trying to be preventive, right? You're doing this as a precaution.
Yeah.
They're doing these bunkers. They're like stocking up
Yeah.
and stuff. Like, how do you feel about these zombie survivalists?
Well, whenever I don't know, this is kind of anecdotal, but when I look at like the zombie survivalist groups, all they talk about is guns. All they talk about is guns, and all they talk about is how we have to stop Obama from taking away our guns.
There's a correlation between.
Yeah, and as we know from watching, like say, Walking Dead or whatever, guns are a really impractical way to deal with zombies.
I don't know about that.
I can get back to that.
Yeah.
I just want to get finish my point, but I was like, in a zombie survivalist group, wouldn't you be more all about information on how to grow your own vegetables, or how to get solar panels,
Right.
So you can survive off the off
What
the
you
grid,
have.
grid and everything. I mean, instead of being able to shoot guns at zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. No one really like when you think about survival, they're not really thinking about actually surviving. You can shoot as much shit as you want, but what are you gonna eat?
Right. Well, I mean, that's why they stock up on stuff, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, but that shit's gonna go bad eventually.
No, I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like they're being preventative, but like
For, like, the first
disregarding
2 weeks.
guns, disregarding guns.
Not,
Right.
not only that, I mean those type of the skills that I mentioned. I mean that would come in handy in numerous different situations. Because face it, zombies aren't real. Zombies are never going to be, going to be real. But there's so many other things that could happen that could result in being cut off from like civilization, having to survive on your own, and everything.
Sentient internet is probably more probable than fucking zombies, to be honest.
So then, okay, if we're going by that, like, how do you guys feel about like America in the 50s, where everybody was trying to like be cautious about like a nuclear war? Like, do you think that's actually justified?
I mean, we've seen that.
I mean, like I'm seeing like a similar pattern today.
Yeah.
But sorry to interrupt,
No,
but
that's
going
all right.
back to like the 70s when everybody's trying to take precautions, it was like, hey, we shouldn't be saying these words on TV. Hey, we shouldn't be showing these things on TV. We shouldn't be allowing the kids to be exposed to like pornographic shit and all this violence. And I mean, nothing really, like, it doesn't really work, right? To take all this precautionary, because people are just gonna be people. Like we were saying at the restaurant,
Yeah.
once you draw that line, motherfuckers are gonna want to cross that line no matter what.
Yeah, but there, I don't know. I feel like, yes, human nature has that in them, but I don't know. I just feel like being able to get to that point where we're capable of avoiding the issue instead of having to react to something. I mean, human history has shown us that we're not like that by nature. I mean, so far as we know, but we should try to get to that point where we're
And
like
I think,
that.
yeah, and I agree. But I think exposure to like the
If we're gonna-
shitty arguments with like also the good arguments is the best
But
way
if we're
to
gonna
filter
keep doing,
everything
if we're
out.
gonna keep doing the same vicious cycle of that, it's not working. Clearly, we keep doing the same shit. Like what Eric just said, it's happening again. People are making bunkers for no fucking reason. You know, like we're in this same vicious cycle instead of actually being able to grow and become fucking Star Trek humans. Why can't we fucking be Star
I
Trek?
think we're
humans, for fuck's sake?
definitely progressing, right? That's
I mean,
just
we
sad.
are. I
Yeah,
think
But I
but
think the internet and exposure to all that crazy shit kind of helped, for sure.
Like people look ahead, like for what's gonna happen.
No, just being exposed to just different ideologies and different ways of thinking, even if they're shitty, even if they're not right, or they're not correct. I think that has helped humanity as a whole kind of move to us. Like, you know what? Let's stay away from that.
I think-
Racism's kind of dumb. Like, all this shit is really dumb. Let's just move to it.
I think the internet has helped in that it's made the world a lot smaller and it has helped with situations like that. But it's by just having all this information that could be easily debunked, but then there's all the people that just refuse to fucking do it because of course everything is connected to some weird cabal that's in charge.
This is a complicated issue because we have access to, of course, we have access to all this information, but yet people, but the flat Earth society is just growing and growing.
It is,
And it's not just flat Earth. You have vaccines and truthers
fake
and all this
dinosaurs.
stuff. I mean, you also got along with the information age, we have the fake information age.
Right.
And I don't know, and where in which you believe. I think one thing is consistent is people still get scared as fuck.
Yeah.
They get scared as fuck. I mean, the whole this whole flat Earth thing came out of not trusting the government. It came being scared of the government, not trusting the government, and thinking that that the government is pulling some kind of huge hoax on you, and you're scared to risk going along with it if it's real.
Yeah.
And I think it feels like people get just as scared as they do back in the nuclear days, maybe even more so.
Yeah, because
and
you're
then-
you're more exposed to things due to the just
But I think that
media.
exposure makes it to where people are not as afraid. Because I think when you look back at the 60s and schools taking like measures to practice in case we get bombed and all that, you know what I mean?
Well, there was also like a sense of propaganda, and I think that the new
Yeah.
propaganda now is essentially like just news that kind of like build off of each other to like create this mass hysteria type of thing. Like for example, the coronavirus thing, right? Like we've seen this before with SARS and MERS and all this stuff, but like I just feel like and H1N1 too, like. But I just feel like there's more of a freak out now than there is previously, even though like I feel
We got more cases popping up
right.
than before.
But did you know like more Americans die from like the flu
Yeah,
than that? Like
yeah, we of course the flu is more dangerous, but we have more cases of this much smaller threat like popping up like around the world. And I can remember when we had the Ebola scare here.
right, yeah.
And it was just one nurse at one nurse at a hospital.
Yeah, in Dallas.
Wasn't it? Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say it was
Here
here.
in
Yeah, it
Dallas.
was here.
Here in
Yeah.
here in Dallas.
She made it though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's fine.
Shout out to Parkland.
Yeah, shout out. They quarantined that
Yeah.
lady like a mother.
But it gave everyone such a scare. It feels like this. It kind of feels the same. I mean, the same amount of fear as before.
I feel like it's a little bit worse. This
A little bit,
time.
maybe. I think
Because
so.
you're seeing people like with Ebola. Like when it happened, you wouldn't. I don't think we heard of people die people dying by the hundreds.
Well,
like,
I'm
being reported.
talking about the reaction.
Yeah, the reaction. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the same. But I think it's worse because now we're hearing numbers, whereas before it was like, oh, this could happen, and you would hear like a case like 1, 2 here and there, like not even here, like in other places. But now you're hearing like, oh, China is like reporting 250 like every week or something. I think this week it was like 200 something.
So you're always up to
Yeah.
date and you know what's
So,
going on pretty
yeah.
much. So it's always in your
Yeah,
head.
and you have to take things in. You also have to take things in situation. Like for example, in China, it's a lot easier to spread disease because you see images of people wearing the masks like all the time and everything, and they're not doing it because they're doing that just for common stuff like the flu.
Yeah.
Because one person with the flu in a crowded subway station, it's like it can spread like wildfire.
It's also the air there. Like the air quality
Oh,
is
yeah.
just really bad.
Well, also it's cultural. Like Asians do that not because they don't want to get sick from you. It's like a cultural thing. They don't want to get you sick. It's like
I just
a
think it
personal
like
thing.
it gave more like what's the word?
If they are sick, I mean usually if you're like one of the reasons why we were talking about this earlier, you get like a secondary infection after the flu is because it's because when you're getting over the flu, basically you stop getting flu symptoms and everything, right? But you feel kind of under the weather. You can actually you actually feel like, okay, I can go to work, I can go out and everything. But during that time, you are actually vulnerable to secondary infections,
Right.
and that's how you get strep and pneumonia and everything. And that's when I would wear. That's why I would personally wear a mask if I'm in a crowd. If I'm going out in a crowded area.
Yeah. For sure.
I mean, normally if you have the flu where you're contagious, you're gonna have symptoms that make you want to stay in.
Yeah. And kind of I guess to go back to like the point that we were trying to make earlier about immunizations, right? And being preventive. Like obviously I had the flu but I survived. That doesn't mean like I can say, oh, see, I don't need the like vaccine in order to like not get this, right? It just means like, oh, well, people have died before in the past. So I mean, I guess I should be preventive, like, and get the vaccine so that it doesn't
Also,
become worse on me.
Yeah, and also getting the flu is just not fun.
It is, yeah.
I mean, if I get the flu, I wind up with sniffles and cough for like a month, and that's not fun.
Eesh.
So it's like I'd rather get the flu vaccine if there's like half a chance of me just skipping all that.
Right. So I mean, yeah. To go back, I feel like people should be preventive, but I think to an extent. I think there needs to be like a certain time limit where you should be like you shouldn't be as preventive like talking about like 100 years from now. I just feel like you should be preventative like from now because things do change, like our knowledge that we know, stuff.
I don't think the mentality of being precautionary should ever change. Things will change, and how you prevent things will change.
Yeah, but
Just
you
the
can't prepare
mentality
for everything.
behind
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
Mentality
It's like
behind it.
planning for your future, which, like a plan,
I mean,
I
people
said,
like
let
to
it all
plan for
roll.
the future.
Bring out the diseases. Let's weed out the weak, and let's have the next evolution of humankind.
Right. Like I can't prevent
Animorphs,
myself dying
baby.
from like being run
That's
over
what
by
I'm
a
talking
bus. You know
about.
what I mean?
Ninja
Animorphs.
pizza cats.
And, yeah. What did you say?
Oh, pizza ninja cats? Or is it ninja pizza?
Samurai pizza cats.
dude.
Yeah.
Let's try to shorten it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diseases.
Some survivalists are dumb. Just saying. Survivors. But
The zombie thing is just so weird to me. I just don't get it.
yeah, flat earthers are dumb too.
Yeah. But they just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Anti-vacciners are dumb. You know what? Our fans are dumb.
I mean, do you
Our
get the
fans.
flu vaccine? I don't get the flu vaccine.
I don't.
No
to
one.
be
I
honest.
don't know anyone. Do you?
Yeah, I've gotten the flu.
Yeah, you're the only person I know
Yeah.
personally
gotten
that
the
gets
flu?
it.
I actually had I actually skipped it and I did get the flu.
Oh, yeah.
This year, and this is when I realized, yeah, if I got the flu and then I go out after getting over it, I need to start wearing a mask.
Now, are you quote unquote mentally unchallenged?
Mentally
Unchallenged after you got the vaccine.
unchallenged. What was the question again?
Are you? No, it's because like that's like the reasoning, right? Against like for the anti-vacciners.
Mentally challenged, not unchallenged.
I said mentally challenged.
You said mentally
Yeah.
unchallenged.
All right, we'll replay. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, but I mean that's the thing I don't get is like,
The
how do
connection
you
between
get-
autism and that is dumb.
yeah, I
It
just
is,
don't.
especially because I tell people all the time, autism is one of those things that gets triggered. They would be more likely to get triggered in utero.
Right. Oh.
rather than and there's all sorts of factors that can go into
Is
it.
that Europe?
Also, there's a lot of people who are seeing autism these days, like especially like high, what do they call it? Like
They're smart people.
yeah, they're seeing autism as like an advantage.
I read an Esquire
Yeah.
article
Yeah.
on how they use autist people in Israel with the army in order to get them to do a bunch of tasks that a lot of people wouldn't do, like read through a bunch of documents and then notate.
I read an article recently about that. Not there, but like in other stuff where like they're essentially treating autistic people. They're like what do they call it? Like high functional autistic people as pretty much like X-Men. Like they fucking like they're
technically it's a superpower,
almost like an evolution. They're treating it like a superpower. Yeah.
Also, there's just more people. They're kind of lowering the bar for what counts as autism. I mean, I probably would have been classified as autistic when I was a kid. Probably.
I'm pretty sure.
Just because I looked out a window.
Yeah, that too. Like also like if you have some sort of like mild social, awkwardness, like
that's totally me.
Same me. Like we might as well all have Asperger's here. Because they're doing that,
So I burned my dad's feet with a plunger when I was like, wow, that doesn't make me dumb. I'm just curious. Yeah.
Well, you took his porno too. So.
Yeah, I did too. So yeah, I was smart, dude. A little conniving, but whatever. But yeah, man. So Valentine's, huh?
Yeah.
It's this is what fills us up. Yeah. Ooh, man. Those are two Valentines right there.
Not having a good night.
Oof, no. Man, but yeah, I mean, like Valentine's is a good day to talk about these topics. I think being preventive.
Like zombies and shit.
Yeah, what would you two do?
Yeah, wear a rubber tonight.
Where do you go?
Don't.
Zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great question. So to all our couple listeners,
Email us.
Yeah. And the rest from Dallas at
What
gmail.com.
would you do?
Yeah, we like to hear from you or
What in
not.
Norway? Like there's nothing there.
zombies
It's
in
just
Norway?
it's
Yeah,
like
no.
sheep, right? Like, what else is there?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Witches, I guess. I don't know. Anglo-Saxon mythologies. I don't know.
Vikings?
Vikings. Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess.
Valhalla?
Well, yeah. Those. Yeah.
Doesn't everyone just fantasizes about what I mean, the real reason why people fantasize about the zombie apocalypse is because they don't have to go to work anymore and you have to pay taxes.
That's what
Yeah,
it's always like the most
It's
boring.
little-
basically all your responsibilities gone now.
Yeah.
And they're just traded out for different responsibilities, like
Some
like
fucking-
killing zombies and keeping your.
Some big lady in Memphis, or like Missouri, that's like watching the
Prepare
Walking
myself for
Dead.
zombie apocalypse.
Honestly,
Has nothing going on. Is watching the Walking Dead. Has
Hey, it doesn't sound like a
why
bad
are heavy-
gig.
Yeah, why are heavy people like fantasizing about the zombie apocalypse?
Yeah.
they're the ones gonna go first.
yeah, I can tell you.
Get your own show on TLC and don't.
Yeah.
I mean, this should have been learned from Zombieland.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Did you guys
fat
watch
people.
the second one?
Yeah, I watched the
I
second
haven't.
one.
No.
Second one, they rehash a lot
Too
of the
long.
jokes.
They waited too long,
refer-
right?
Well, no, it's not that they waited too long. Is that the movie references and recycles a lot of the jokes from the first one.
It was a
It
joke
does that.
on itself. Like, that's what I.
I mean, at first, I thought I was in good hands because they started like how they have the rules. They started classifying the zombies.
Yeah.
Like they call the dumb ones. They call the dumb ones the homers.
Oh.
I thought that was funny and everything. But then they started kind of recycling the same jokes again instead of coming up with something.
Yeah,
So what's a sequel?
Well, because exactly.
Yeah.
So because
Cars too.
because the funny thing about Zombieland in the first place is that all these kind of ideas were new. It's like I didn't think about that when it came to the like for example the rules like learn cardio. It's like you kind of need to learn cardio because the fat people. I mean they point out all these different things about the zombie apocalypse.
Shout out to Garland, Texas.
I see y'all looking at me too. Don't please don't.
What? The guy that wrote it is from Garland.
Also, there was the Garland joke in the.
That's why. Yeah, that's why it was in.
I do remember sitting in theater and hearing the entire theater like react to that
Did we
joke.
go see that together?
No. I brought a date to that.
Okay, then it might have been you win, right?
No,
Did
I
you
didn't go to something.
Might have been like Adam or something, but yeah, everybody cheered in the fucking theater when they said Garland.
Wow. Interesting. But yeah, so couples should go see Zombieland too, if y'all want a good laugh, I guess, or a bad one. I don't know.
Yeah,
Or the same laugh. The same laugh.
Oh, I guess yeah. If you want to laugh at its mediocrity, yeah, go ahead.
It's it's all right. Like
I
I
saw
said.
the poster and I was like, that looks really cheap. The poster looks hella cheap.
Honestly, yeah. If you take too long to make a sequel, it's over.
That's what I always say. Don't wait too long.
Don't wait.
Well, you can take
It's
as long
for
as you
Rocky.
want to make. But well, my assumption is that they took this long to make a sequel, but the reason they do that is because that's how long it takes to write. That you know, but
Apparently not. It's just
Apparently-
copy and
Yeah,
paste.
yeah.
no, well, apparently they didn't
That's what
spend
you
all that time.
assume. That's what
Yeah.
he got.
Yeah, I mean,
You think that's what's gonna happen with Avatar?
Oh,
God,
man,
there's
they're
8 of
making
them.
another
too.
one?
There's 8 of them.
I'm not sure. It's
no.
really hard to tell what's exactly going to happen with Avatar because I haven't really seen
Anything.
something like no. I haven't really seen this approach to making to making a franchise like this. I mean, this is kind of something we haven't seen before, where he's making like how many sequels at once?
Yeah, it's like
7 or
7.
No. I don't think it's
like
no
3.
7. It's like 3.
Yeah.
It's like 3 sequels at once, and supposedly, what were the reasons for the reasons were he's waiting for technology to come out to do everything that he wants to do. So I'm also not sure how much care he took into the whole writing process and everything, because you could have like you could have something like Zombieland too, or you could have I watched Knives Out. Very good.
I did
very
too,
well
yeah.
written.
It
I
was
mean,
really good.
everything. It's very tight, and he took like over a decade on
Oh,
this,
really?
this movie. Yeah,
I
because
didn't know.
because the director Ryan Johnson, he got the idea when he finished Brick.
I haven't.
That came out back in what was it, 2005, I think. So he took that long, writing it and everything.
Yeah.
And it's a
It lived
very
up, yeah.
airtight script.
Yeah.
I highly enjoy. It's one of my favorite movies of the year.
For real.
Even though it basically is a Sherlock Holmes movie. That's what
Yeah.
it basically is. That's why they're talking about making a sequel.
It's a Raymond Chandler book.
That's why they're talking about making a sequel, because they could easily just take Daniel Craig's character and just put him in another movie.
Yeah.
But also, this movie had a lot to say about classism. The common theme with a lot of the movies this year were classism.
Yeah, it really was.
That is
and,
weird.
and Knives Out definitely no different. I can't comment too much on it without spoiling the movie. So.
Go watch it, folks.
But there's a lot. But it definitely has a lot. I mean, you can tell there's a whole lot of social commentary in that movie, and that's what really sets it apart from an actual like Sherlock Holmes type movie.
I think like the success of these class-based or class-themed movies kind of says a lot about what people are focusing on during the election year.
Civil War.
No.
Or what are you
I
talking
mean, the real world kind of influences the art that comes out around that time. Which is why I've been saying this is the perfect time for an X-Men movie.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say Samurai Pizza Cat.
Dude,
I'm
it's
sure-
always a good time.
I'm sure they're actually thinking about that for the
Yeah,
next X-Men
it's
movie.
gotta be.
Well, especially when Marvel has to kind of step things up. I mean, you
Yeah.
notice that. I mean, see what they did with Spider-Man. They basically bumped it up a notch.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
how do you bump up X-Men, even though there
Autism.
is.
I mean, now they're teasing Toby, very,
Oh, yeah.
very subtle. way.
Vaccines cause mutants.
Yeah, well, there we go. All right.
Uh,
Yes.
Give Jenny McCarthy.
Watch,
a
they're gonna
cameo.
put that in the movie.
I hope they do.
Hey,
Well,
don't listen to us, Marvel.
Yeah. Well, guys, we've run out of time.
Oh,
here.
wow.
Yeah,
that was
we've
fast.
done through our thing. Yeah.
Great episode.
That was a pretty good episode. Yeah.
I stayed the whole time.
You did.
you
Thank you.
did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Threaten
that.
us with leaving you.
Yeah, you're
Look
like,
at you.
"Oh,
Oh well, I got somewhere somewhere I can go. So
Ooh, okay.
well, it is Valentine's Day. I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. Fetish, sweetheart. All
So
right.
I can feel my tears.
Oh man, what? I'm sorry.
Hey man, it's okay, dude. You can listen to him tonight. That's what you do.
Yeah.
And watch Friends.
I'll get my West Parasite.
Hey, yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Go along.
Yeah.
Best way to.
That's all.
Sure, after we talked about it so much.
He's talking about watching at home, though.
Oh.
What theater opens at midnight?
Yeah, you're right. I'm not even thinking. Anyways, follow me at Othering. Follow Pablo at.
Basil from Moon Roses.
Follow Onion Producer at.
LCL_no.
And you can follow our guest at.
Oh
Any thing you want to plug?
no.
No? All right. Don't follow him. All right.
By the way, LCL, remember, doesn't stand for that. Thank you.
Less colored
Less
ladies.
colored ladies.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Bye.